So, how do you keep the world from falling apart? How do we create any kind of order when you have all these different nations, all with their own interests? That question feels more urgent today than it has in a long, long time. To even begin to answer it, we've got to understand where the whole idea of a world order even came from. So let's do that. Let's jump back about 400 years.
Okay, so I want you to picture a whole continent just tearing itself to pieces. For 30 straight years, from 1618 to 1648, Central Europe was basically a giant battlefield. This wasn't just a war, it was a total meltdown of politics, religion, everything. We call it the 30 Years' War, and it was a kind of devastation nobody had ever seen before.
And just to put a number on that devastation, 25%, nearly a quarter of the entire population of Central Europe, gone, dead, not just from fighting, but from the disease and starvation that followed. The scale of the carnage is it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. So you can imagine for the people who somehow lived through all that, this wasn't some academic question. It was the only question that mattered. After decades of nonstop bloodshed, how in the world do you build a system that can stop this from ever happening again? And out of all that rubble and chaos, something pretty radical was born. It wasn't some grand, moral, feel-good vision. It was brutally practical. It was based on a cold, hard look at the reality of a situation. The answer finally came in 1648. It was a set of treaties we now call the Peace of Westphalia. And look, this wasn't about everybody holding hands and singing together. It was a pragmatic deal. The dream of a single, unified Christian Europe was dead. No single king or emperor was strong enough to rule everyone else. So they had to agree on a whole new set of rules for how to coexist. And this right here, this was the absolute core of the whole thing, the idea of state sovereignty. What it meant was simple, but it was a game changer. Each state was now the master of its own house. The religion you chose, how you ran your country, that was your business, and everybody else had to stay out of it. So you can think of it like a new club, the Westphalian Club, and it had three main rules. First, the state is the main player now, not the church, not some sprawling empire. Second, you respect everyone else's sovereignty, mind your own business, basically. And third, and this is key, you use a balance of power to keep things in check. If any one country gets too big for its britches, the others team up to put it back in its place. This whole new way of thinking was really pushed by people like Cardinal Richelieu over in France. And this quote from him just nails it. He's saying, look, an individual person can worry about their eternal soul, but the state doesn't have an afterlife. Its survival has to be secured right here,